welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my previous subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we're going to be discussing and talking about the Chinese Lunar New Year, the year of the Chinese snake. A lot of major world events and US events happened during the year of the Chinese snake. So we're going to talk about that in today's video. For those of you guys who are following and subscribe and you celebrate the Chinese Lunar New Year, Happy New Year to all of you. And as of when I am recording this, it is Monday, January 27th at 12:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know some of you guys as well, you might be wondering, well, why is it significant in some capacity? It's significant because it also indicates major changes along with your Pluto return, which further going to amplify the changes that we are going to expect this year. And it's also the wood snake, which is very interesting because it talks about growth, major changes, and shifting. We'll talk about all that in today's video. But if you guys want to go help out the channel in any way you can, I recommend you do so. Just like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Even commenting or even watching this video longer than normal, you yourself will be notified when I do post and upload next. Now, if you want to be notified when I do post, and because YouTube's not notifying you, no worries. Just go to my description or my comment section, and you can follow my Blue Sky account or my Facebook group if you are interested. All right, so let's begin. We have a lot to get through today, but I do want to kind of like touch upon the information in regard to the Chinese Lunar New Year. For those of you guys who are not aware or don't celebrate, it will be starting on January 29th, 2025. So it is pretty significant, and nonetheless, the next time we are going to experience the Chinese snake won't be until 2037. So this will be the last time that we will experience the year of the snake. Alright, so with that being said, major events that happened during the year of the snake include the Great Depression, the attack on the Pearl Harbor, the Tiananmen Square massacre, and the September 11th terrorist attack. Also, the year of the Chinese snake in 1929, the Great Depression began in 1941, the attack on Pearl Harbor occurred during World War II, in 1965, the Ironite Wildcat was discovered in 1977, Japan launched its first meteorological satellite in 1989, the Square Massacre, and in 2001 was September 11th attack. Other events that occurred during the year of the snake was the opening of Tokyo Disney Sea in 2001, and the registration of Mount Fuji as a World Heritage Site back in 2013. So those are major events that was happening around that time that all took place. However, I got the feeling that this might be more of changes in the ground, because hence the word note. But we are going to delve right in. I'm not going to make any pre-cognizant or pre-assumption about what we're going to be reading on. I'm just going to be open and receptive to all that can and will be, and that would be pretty much it. I did got a new deck for you guys. I call it the Tarot Landscape. Very beautiful deck. I am going to be shuffling it throughout this video so we can get an accurate reading. And yeah, those are that. And this is also another deck that we got with you guys for supporting the channel. So when you're able to support the channel by just engaging, this helps us get more stuff, and we're able to do a lot more. There's a lot more that we are going to be uncovering today. So yeah. So there's a lot of information that's about to be revealed, about to be shown, major shift in dynamic. I don't know exactly what we're going to go through. I really don't. But these are beautiful cards. Beautiful. I mean, look at the coloration on this. I mean, I've never seen any more cards more gorgeous and beautiful than this. Let me show you. Thank you. Okay, like this. I mean, have you seen anything quite like a bear? No. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful deck. Beautiful. And I'm just in awe about how it's beautiful. Like, look at this. So I love it. It's something very different. It's more uplifting, what I think a lot of us all need right now at this very point in time. Again, this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only as well. I'm going to use the Rider-Waite Tarot deck to start us off and see what major events are going to be happening within the United States and also globally. We talked about this before in another video, when the planets aligned and what to expect during that. Now we're going to be more focused on the year of the Chinese snake. So let's go and take a look. All right, so let's see. So spirits and angels, tell me about the Chinese year of the snake. What is going to be happening globally? Give me the theme that we should expect. Oh, I love how they make me dig two cards. This was not done on purpose. Like this literally happened. And the bottom of the card here we have temperance, balance, and right, nurturing. It's very interesting that it's the Chinese Lunar New Year of the snake being the wood snake. The wood snake is very woody and very hardy. It comes from earth. It comes from the ground up. It's all about growth. So something that you have planted a seed from a long time ago is about to reemerge, and you might even reap your rewards from that. Here we have the full cover verse. So things, unfortunately, are about to start changing for many of you guys. Um, so that's what I'm feeling. Alright, so this might be a mixed reading not only for you but also for the general population. We're talking about I think I read it on I'm gonna read both the US and globally in the same spread and kind of see what's happening. Alright, so let's take a look. So the first card that we have here is we have the Hermit. The first couple of months of entering into this new year, when we start to kick in, you're going to start to see the 29th of January start to indicate the first day of darkness. Right, so we enter into that first phase of darkness, things go out. So maybe there might be outages, there might be things actually go physically dark, maybe ideologically we go dark, emotions go dark. In some way, there's something that goes dark. Now, this is what's known as the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is where you get the bigger changes when you go through the darkest period in time. Here we enter into the new phase of major changes and upheaval, which is number 5. So a lot of you guys will find yourself in a situation where you will be fighting, and you'll be fighting for a sense of sensibility and tranquility in your life, even stability, whether that is financially, whether that is for a career opportunity, whether that is for your representation, your voice, whether that is your health, whatever this is, you personally will individually go through a fighting period. Something that challenges your very core. So something that's going to basically get you off the ground or off the couch and start moving in some way. So something that's going to cause you to move and pretty rapidly and pretty fast. Why is this also significant globally? This also might indicate transportation, advancement in transportation that we're going to witness this year. It also means that there will be sense of a sense of people having fighting over diplomacy or some sort of issues in terms of disagreement with one another. I'm also seeing as well that there is possibilities of war and even revolutions in the United States and also globally. So now it's followed by the two of cups of verbs, which means disagreement. So it almost feels like in some way, many governments and many governmental institutions, if they're not working for the people, those institutions are going to collapse. So in some way, whether that is democracy, whether that is fascism, whether that is communist or socialist, whatever it is, if the institutions themselves don't work for the people, they will be rejected. I apologize that the computer's moving so much, but they will be rejected in some capacity, in some formality. So that's what I'm getting out of the Two of Cups reverse. What I'm also getting as well is that this is also regular governmental institutions or also other institutions as well. So maybe main industries, monopolies, and stuff like that. If it doesn't work for the general population, it will be dismantled. So basically what I'm saying is in hindsight, evolve or de-evolve in one way. So you need to evolve if you want to survive in the year of the Chinese snake going into the new year of 2026, or you can just not evolve and you will end up in a situation where you're not evolving at all, and that's going to be a major problem for you long term. Now we go into the next phase, which is the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is about a celebration card. I think a lot of countries, at least a lot of people around the world, especially citizens, are going to start rejoicing because they regained their power, they regained their sense of hope and tranquility. They were able to regain what it is that they desire. So in some way, it feels like the dismantling of darkness, going in with high-speed transportation, it's talking about here revolution, war, major changes, even fighting for your own thing, what you want, even fighting for yourself. And I'm not saying you're fighting somebody, it might just be fighting you versus yourself. You're fighting something in some way, whether that is a depression, whether that is alcoholism, or whatever it is, you're fighting something. It doesn't have to be a physical individual or an institution or a government. It doesn't have to be that. It could be just, you personally. Because this is simultaneously for you and for the general population and globally. So that's what I'm getting here. Then we have the Two of Cups here, which also indicates that you having things that are falling in your life that no longer serves you will start to disappear and they will start to collapse. And if you don't get rid of them now, they will be forced to collapse in some way or another. So definitely take the time to just ask yourself what is working for me and what is not, and try to get rid of what's not working so you can minimize the quote tower moment. But the tower moment is also a great card to have as well, especially in your reading, because it indicates that major changes are underway and you will be forced to change in some capacity. So tower moments are not always bad. You can choose to change, or it's going to be forced upon you. You have really no choice here. The Three of Cups is to indicate that you created a change, you became renewed towards the end of the year, and you'll be able to came back into who you were, so you found your purpose. And this is also like talking about many countries as well. This also means the general population and people within those countries. And this is global. Here we have the King of Wands. Here, the King of Wands is looking in the direction of the people. So in some way, a lot of people will be electing um, people who are more likely to serve them and serve the general population, whether that is a darker ideology or a better ideology or a brighter ideology. In some way, in some form, it will be more representation of the population as a whole in that country, whether they choose darkness or light. That is not up for me to tell you what that is, but many people will be more representative by their own world leader they choose to represent them. So that is what's going to be interesting in the Chinese Year of the Snake. What's also interesting as well is we are going to enter into the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is election night or watching things as they unfold. So it feels like in some way that people will have to reconcile and reflect on the world around them, including their own peers. So I feel like there's going to be a sense of disappointment around the world, especially with the elections of leaders and world leaders, that a lot of people will feel like they have so much hope and faith in their own people that they just felt like that is not the case, that they've just been taken away from them and they're watching from a third eye perspective, knowing what the end result is going to be. But the people who voted those people in, they're not exactly seeing that and they're going to have to suffer. And so essentially saying that not only did it happen in the United States, it would happen more globally. So in a more global perspective, people will need to start learning to open their eyes and be able to feel intuitively. I feel like a lot of people are not intuitive. They're not able to tap into their feelings or their emotion. Well, that's okay, because the year of the Chinese snake year, the wood, is going to be indicating that there's going to be a high emotional tension and people will be tapping into emotional reservoir more than they did in the past couple of years. What's also interesting as well, although there's darkness within the world, we have the King of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles is darkness within economy and money. So I wonder if in some capacity, in some way, I'm getting that there will be darkness in terms of certain aspects of the world, in terms of money and financial. There might be a shift or a change. Maybe we go from physical currency to digital currency, but there is a change in some capacity. The fact that this is an earth card or has some sort of live plans, which is the Chinese snake year, which indicate that there will be people who will grow. There will be people who will grow in the midst of the darkness, whether that is for the 1% or whether it's for the 99%. But in some way, there will be financial growth, there will be business growth, there will also be slower businesses. There is also a plausibility and possibility that there could be some shaking in the ground, or there might be a plausibility that may lead to possible shaking in the ground. So I don't know if it's going to happen this year, and when I mean that, I mean earthquake. But I think it's going to set the stage for 2026, but I don't really necessarily think it's going to happen right away. It feels like 2025 is going to be the year that it starts to set the stage for those earthquakes to start taking place. So I feel like in some way the darkness is that we start to go more on the colder end, which give people this false illusion that the world is actually getting colder instead of warmer, but it actually is getting warmer. That's just part of the global warming experience, and that we will have rapid climate change come 2026, and that the theme that we see here this year will be start to further amplify as we get towards the end of the Chinese snake year. Underneath the Five of Wands and the Magician card reverse is the period in manifestation. You need to make sure that when you manifest growth, success, happiness, but also abundance. But you need to be able to do it in a way in which not only allows you to grow as an individual, but allows others to grow as well. So you need to be able to have the mindset of, if I can grow, so can others. If I can be able to manifest things for me, I want to manifest the same for other people. So if you want to manifest abundance and happiness, make sure that you are also manifesting that for others as well, because what comes around will come and bite you. And I feel like the Magician card is no different. It's telling you here that you have to be very careful with your mindset and that what you think will manifest, but you have to make sure you're thinking for the general good and the general collective. Underneath the Two of Cups reverse, we also get the Nine of Swords reverse, which is telling me here that you guys won't have to necessarily sleepless nights. I don't really think that there's going to be anything major or anything bad happening for the people or for the global aspect. I feel like a lot of you guys will just be going through your own personal changes, which is why every time I seem to read on these type of things, they've been kind of more personalized for you guys. But I'm also thinking that I'm also not thinking, I'm also seeing that it's also global and domestically here in the United States. So it's kind of mixed up everything all happening at once. So that I find interesting. Here underneath the Three of Cups, we have the reverse Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups reverse is indicating you need to be able to walk forward the future. You need to imagine that good things are coming your way. You need to imagine this is the Three of Cups, that everything we're going through now, the darkness period, is leading to this. It's leading to where we are able to celebrate with the Three of Cups, and the Knight of Cups reverse is telling you that this won't be forever. It was never meant to be forever. It won't be forever. And then underneath the Knight of Wands and the Three of Wands here, we have the World card, which is interesting because this is the male energy, right? This is the masculine. Then we have the feminine, which is represented here as the World card. And then being challenged, being crossed by the reverse Knight of Wands is slow moving. These two cards indicate a slowness. So slow moving in some capacity. So there is something slow that is waiting to come in. Whereas when this goes upright for the World's card, things start to move rapidly at a rapid pace towards the end of the snake. The King of Wands and the Three of Wands is kind of like more that slow energy, just waiting for your time to come. Whereas the World's card is you need to be able to manifest your own world and take advantage, take hold of what is yours. Is what it's essentially saying. Take hold of what is yours. Right, so this is what it is on a global scale. Let me see if I can use these cards. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna take water because I feel like I'm not speaking. Okay, and now I feel a lot better. All right, spirits and angels, tell me about the world globally when it comes to the Chinese snake year, the year of the Chinese snake. What's going on? What happened in the Chinese snake year? Can I take this? Oh, they're pretty. Very beautiful cards. So on the bottom of the card here, we have the Queen of Swords, which is a very beautiful card. Is the who, the wisdom, the knowledge. I think a lot of the world on a global stage, and not only for Americans but also globally, a lot of people will come out of this more with a lot of wisdom and wise words and understanding the world around them on a grander scale. At the top of the deck here, we have the Page of Wands. This is a very beautiful card. I mean, this is very cute. I mean, look at him. He's so cute. And it's looking at this dandelion, right? What happened to the dandelion? When the dandelion had wind flow, even light wind flow, it lifts off and just flies away. Just goes with the flow. And wherever it lands, it sprouts something new and it keeps going and going and going. This is interesting because what does this mean? It means just one of the things that you're going to learn in the Chinese wood year of the snake is you're going to learn to let go and to allow life to push you where you have to go and where you need to be. That's what's really going to be interesting. When you start to look at the first card here, though, that comes up is we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is the Elephant card. It's all about reflecting on who you were and reflecting on your morals and where you want to be in life. So this is the Elephant here. It's coming in, and the Elephant is a life of luck. But the Water card is very calm, which indicates there will be a sense of tranquility and stability within your life. But this is also on a global scale, which means a lot of countries will be reflecting on maybe their past history, maybe things that they've done in the past, maybe how can they do things better. This also has to do with regard to citizen. I'm seeing here that there will be major events revolving around the Asia region, so there might be some things going on in Asia. I'm getting the word India in specifically, so there might be some information regarding around India that may come out of the year of the snake. Under here, though, we have the knight, the king of wands. And the king of wands is interesting because it's more of that conservative energy. And here is a white tiger, which is a very rare tiger in itself. And this is in Indonesia, it feels like. And this is the king of wands here, which is represented between the five of wands fighting, the two of cups reversed, the magician card reversed, and the knight of swords reversed. Why is this significant? This significant is talking about understanding and standing your ground and being conservative in some of your approaches. So maybe being more simple is okay. Understand that you don't need all these materialistic things because it feels like in some way you will understand that all those materialistic won't really matter. It feels like we're advancing so much that those materialistic things in 5 years from now, they will be worth zero. And there will be something else to replace it that will be worth a lot more than what you currently have. So it's really, it rolls into the idea that technology is going to be a major advancement going into the next couple of years, especially this year, that thing that you buy now won't be worth as much towards the end of the year. The next card here is we have the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is all about growing and growing and growing. So there will be some sort of significant death that will happen in the world. This is important because it talks about here that there will be a sense of renewal, that even within death, something can live, something can thrive, something can survive, something could become beautiful and beautify. So even in the midst of darkness, even in the midst of death, which is death is a transformation in itself, and it's a Pluto card, a Pluto representation, even in the midst of death, even with the fox, something beautiful can emerge from it. And something else will emerge. You just have to make sure that you're in that same mindset, you're in the same understanding and perspective. And here you have the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is running towards where you gotta go. Which is interesting because it goes in between here, right? You have this conservative energy with the Three of Wands. Then you have the World's card and the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is reversed, followed by the Knight of Wands. So wherever it is, we will be speeding towards the end of the year going into the next year. You can't make this stuff up. I already talked about this with you guys. So like you can't make it up. But it's interesting that it showed up in the reading as well. It's that we will be heading towards high fast speed towards the end of the year, whether that is something that is more manifested through transportation or not. So now we are going to go and take a look at my new deck here, which is the Astro Alignment deck. I know not much about astrology, but one thing I can tell you is I will be able to give you information in regard to the world around us and stuff like that. So we will be using this guidebook, which is very rare that I ever used it. But in case I don't know something, I will use it. Okay. It's a very beautiful deck, by the way. Very pretty. I like the colors, stuff like that. I love color. It's always good to have more color in your life than have it no color because, it keeps life dull. You got plastic in your mouth? Oh my God. Okay. Well, I did not plan that. I thought that, I didn't have to cut it open. But no, apparently I guessed wrong and incorrectly. Alright, so let's see how these cards work. And this would actually be good for me too because it will help me learn because I know nothing. I guess it's this way. I don't know. I really don't know how to use this. Alright, so spirits and angels, tell me about the Chinese lunar snake year. What else do we need to know about things going on globally? What's going on in the Chinese snake year, the wood snake, in 2025 that starts January 25th, 2025. I mean January 29th, 2025. What's happening? Okay, that's way too many. We want to take them back. What's happening? Okay, you told me this one. Okay, we have solstice. Focus, transition, amplification, winter solstice, summer solstice. So we have solstice here, which is focus, transition, amplification. So things will be amplified. We talked about this being a major theme in the Chinese snake here, because we talked about how Pluto return is going to be very significant. But the Pluto return is all about major changes, upheaval, not to mention all the Mars and all those type of energies, Saturn. All those will be amplified during this. These are all stuck together, so I'm not taking them. But they will all be amplified in some capacity. What are other major themes that we can expect? What are other major themes that we can expect, Spirit? So they told me to take the top. We have here solar eclipse. So it's interesting. So we have the solstice here. Then we have the solar eclipse, which is creation, intention, potential, which is interesting because that's literally what we've been talking about as well. And then they told me take the middle. So I guess this is the middle. Just the middle. Okay. First quarter moon, momentum, initiative, magnetism. First quarter moon. And the final card here was the final message for the year of the Chinese snake. We have here lunar eclipse reverse, a culmination, release, illumination. It's reversed, which means we will go through internal dark reflection. I think, if anything, what it feels like to me, more than anything at this point in time, is that it feels like the world on a world stage is going through the dark night of the soul, which means major changes, major things that are going to happen that's going to really become more of a reflective note on humanity itself and on the global phase, on who we are and what we need to do to look inward. So we have focus, transition, amplification, creation, intention, potential, momentum, initiative, magnetism. That's interesting because it almost feels like it's all about manifestation. It feels like this is a very manifestation year for you. It's that if you don't like something in your life, manifest something different, manifest something better, but make sure you understand the things in the world around you, understand them, understand everything around you is what it feels like. It feels like you need to understand that. Which also I started to notice here is that if you look at this circle, it looks like this side is closer towards the end, whereas this side is further away. You see the same thing in this specific card with the sun. So the orbit is closer to Earth, to the sun than it is out to the darkness. When you start to look at the first quarter moon, though, complete circle right smack in the center. Well, you probably ask, well, Chris, what does this have to do? This might be the printer mistake. Nothing's ever a mistake when it comes to cards. You see it's right in the center again. Nothing's ever a mistake. Why is it important? This is important because we might also see an orbit shift, or the Earth axis might shift in some degree or some way that may shift the climate. So I feel like there will be some sort of climate change that will occur, like I said before, but it might be due to a possible axis shift, or maybe even a shifting of the polar vortexes, or even the shifting of the magnetic poles. We might start to see the very side of it. It's interesting because we have the solstice, which is the next phase, so this will start to take phase more so, further amplified. This dark period is kind of entering into, this will kind of be like what happened up until solstice, which I think, if I'm correct, let's see when the spring solstice is. Spring solstice. The spring equinox starts March 20th, which is interesting. Let's see when is the solar eclipse. Solar eclipse. The next solar eclipse is March 29th, 2025. Yeah. So that's interesting because first we have March 20th, then you have March 25th, and then let's see when the first quarter moon is for the solar eclipse. First solar eclipse, first quarter. I don't know. Doesn't tell me. No, doesn't tell me. But it's interesting because it says here that up until this point, we will start to get eased into the energy of the snake. It will start to amplify itself with focus, transition, amplification in the month of March, specifically on the 20th. And then we move into 5 days later into the solar eclipse, which is all about creation, intention, potential, which makes sense because you're amplifying it, you're focusing on it, then you're amplifying it in 5 days later. Then you have momentum, initiative, magnetism in the first quarter of the moon, which is interesting because the solar eclipse is here, which means that that same moon, you will start to see the momentum start to kick in. So whatever you think or whatever you manifest during this time period will start to become a major event around the world, especially globally. Why is this significant? Why is this important? Well, it's important because it also talks about in hindsight, whatever the collective is on a global scale believes is going to happen to them around this period in time, it will be manifested into our reality and our existence. Not to mention whatever these people are feeling, these citizens are feeling during the time of March, it will further amplify the energy. And there's the rapid changes around this period. So it seems like this is talking about this 1 week in the month of March, which will start to look more likely based on how all the cards are playing out, because you can't make this stuff up. Then the last card here is you have the lunar eclipse, which is interesting, because let me see when the next time we have a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse 2025. A lunar eclipse would occur March 14, 2025. Everything's all happening in March. And this is all about a culmination, release, illumination. That means tension. Tension is going to be high in the month of March for global tension. So just make sure you are manifesting good things around this time. Make sure you are in good thoughts, good conscious. Because it feels like there will be strong magnetic poles, a magnetic energy that is going to start manifesting into our physical reality and physical understanding of the world around us. So that's what I feel on a more global scale. That also means everything I just said also should apply to you for majority of it. Should it resonate with you on an interpersonal level because you are also getting a personal reading, but it's not going to be very specific to you because it is more of a collective reading. So keep that in mind. Not everything is meant to resonate with you, but it's on more of a deeper understanding that we could resonate with them if you wanted to. And remember the final message from Spirit on the top of the deck here is remember you are a dandelion. I mean, not a dandelion. Oh my God, I forgot what the thing is. I called it a dandelion, knowing that it wasn't a dandelion. But whatever this thing is, just remember, just go with the flow. And just go with wherever it lands you. This also means movement. I feel like some of you guys might be moving from different places to a new home, a new country, whatnot. And here you have the Queen of Swords, and under here you have the King of Swords. So they're the King and you have the Queen, the Vulture, waiting to strike. But this is a very good card. Just be a predator, don't be a prey. Be a predator, don't be a prey. That's the message of 2025. So we are now going to take a look and see what is going on in the United States. This was more of a collective reading for the global, for the people who are around the world and even here in the U.S. But this is what's going on globally. We're now going to delve into more deeply into the United States and see if anything's going on in the United States during the Chinese snake year, which is probably going to be very likely because the United States cannot avoid this. We have Pluto in return, we have Mars in return, we have Jupiter, we have Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, yeah. So we have a lot of things going on in the United States. It's also almost 249 years old for the United States. So major changes are about to be very rapid. And 45 is going to do some stuff that's going to be very rapid. So anyway, besides the point, let's take a look at the United States. Spiritual angels, tell me what is going on within the United States during the Chinese New Year of the Bush Snake. It starts January 29, 2025. What is going on within the United States during the Chinese New Year? What's going on? Oh, we have 2 cards here come out. 2 cards came out here. Maybe we'll move this over a little bit. Okay. What is the bottom of the deck here? We have the Judgment in reverse. What is on the top? We have here Knight of Pentacles. Something is waiting to be moved in. A new era. What is that new era? We have something that we need to work on. What exactly are we working on? So I feel like, in a way, we are working towards that dark night of the soul in the United States in particular, which means we go through our darkest period globally. We go through our darkest period. And I'm talking about specifically in the United States. Now, this is the United States part of the reading of this video. So we have here, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of Wands. The 7 of Wands to me is indicating to me that there will be energy or sensation of anger, distrust, hopelessness, and fighting in the United States. This doesn't have to mean physically fighting, but it feels like this is in the homes. So this feels like this is in the home sense. So it has to be with people within the home. So maybe like you have a disagreement with friends or family or something like that. It's all about your moral, your who you are as an individual, and whether or not you will succumb to compliance or you will be the part of the resistance. Is what it feels like. Here you have the next card here, which is the 2 of Wands here, which is something to be done domestically, but this is also saying that something will be buried. So something is going to be buried after this. So whatever this was, it's going to get buried. And I'm seeing like kind of like the movement of like Luigi. So maybe the momentum of him starts to come towards an end in the year of the Chinese snake. But that doesn't look like that's going to be long term. I feel like that is going to be temporary. Here we have is the Devil card in reverse, which is 45 in reverse, followed by the Knight of Cups reverse, which used to be the card that represented Biden. This is interesting because this also means the transfer of power, the transition of power from one to the other. We have 45 here in reverse, which means that eventually there might be, and hear me out here, but this is what the energy feels like. I feel like there could be a plausibility, a possibility that there might not be a transfer of power that may occur this year, but there also might be a transfer of power. Why do I say that? Because it feels like in some way that the Knight of Cups reverse might be going to the wrong individual once again, because we have 45 in reverse here. So now we are asking, well, how is that possible? How can it go to the wrong person again? Well, 45 is on the, Vance is on the ticket, JD, right? He's on the ticket. So essentially, if 45, something happens and JD Vance needs to take over, he will take over. That would be the full transfer of power because, again, 45 didn't really win his election. Again, everything in this video just for like purposes only, and for entertainment purposes only. 45 did not win. This is important and this is significant because it indicates to me that there might be a plausibility, a possibility where there could be a transition of power from the president to the vice president. And here we have the Lovers card, the Lovers card, which is all about that masculine and feminine, this healing factor. So something needs to be healed, whether that is the world, whether that is global, but also earthly. So I feel like in some way, when I say global, I mean in terms of its allies and how the United States operates versus allies, whether or not that's going to be healed or whether or not that's not going to be healed. I'm also getting as well that there's a plausibility and a possibility that there could be an arising of illness in the United States, that there could be a sense of illness. Now, necessarily the illness doesn't necessarily have to manifest as physically a physical illness. It can manifest itself as a mental illness. And the reason why I say this, it could be the salute that we all know about when it comes to musk. We all know about that salute. And that could be classified as an illness according to the dark energies that are at play. So that's the Lovers card. The Lovers card is all about that illness, right? That connection between man and woman. So expect that people will be a part of that illness, and there will be people who will be resistant to the illness. Here was followed by the Page of Wands, which is new leader, new progress, new growth, but slow growth nonetheless. Look at all that dry land, like something has been dried up, and it's only, so you see all this dried land here, and you start to see this wand here, which has very slow growth. Like there's not a lot of potential. It's telling me that there will be, if let's say there was a transition of power, then this was J.D. Vance, he would not do very well because whatever he's going through, by the time that this happened, there won't be a lot of energy left in the country, specifically in regards to finances. Right? It'll be like sucked up, and there will be potentially small little growth. So even if there was like an economic crash, it doesn't look like the economy will recover. At least not under the Vance presidency. But it feels more than anything, it doesn't feel like Trump will give relinquished power to Vance. So I feel like that would be an unlikely scenario. I would probably give Vance of becoming the next president of the United States, I would give him a 5% chance, is what it feels like. I don't feel like it's going to be a likely chance of him becoming president. Yes, we have been saying he doesn't feel like he is going to be president for long, but for some reason I don't feel Vance either. He just doesn't show up, and his energy just doesn't show up. But then again, we said that about the inauguration, and somehow he's there. So take that with a grain of salt. Now remember, it might also be as well that maybe they don't have souls. Maybe Vance doesn't have a soul. Maybe 45 doesn't have a soul. And the reason why we didn't see him there was just might be because they had no energy in them, because it was gone or something. They were just an empty vessel that was just being puppeteered by whoever is puppeteering it. That could be as well. That could be why the cards are saying it's empty and they're not there, but they are physically there. But maybe physically, energetically, they might not be there. Now, going back to this card here, which is the Five of Wands. I mean, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of Wands here, upright. We have the reverse Five of Swords reverse. And this is all about the mental aspect. This is about the physical. So there might be a sense of uproar, maybe there's going to be riots, maybe there's major protest, but there is going to be some sort of resistance of some capacity towards the middle of 2025. So probably we'll stay around July, August, June. I'll probably put those as like the likeliest months. But this is not giving me a time frame, but it kind of feels like it's more than anything. It's not giving me a time frame. It feels like it's giving me for the duration of the year. This could be continuous themes. These could be themes in essence. Here underneath the Two of Wands, we have reverse, which is domestic. We have the Hangman, followed by the Page of Cups, which is all about the opportunity, right? Having your cup full and seeing what's in your cup and knowing that the possibilities are possible. And then you have here, you had the Hangman reverse, which is a very toxic energy to begin with. But if there was a plausibility and a possibility, because I said Luigi's here, right, it feels like he gets put away and he's hidden for a little bit, the energy kind of dissipates, but I never said it was going to be permanent. I said it was going to be temporary. Here he shows up once again, so sometime around the middle of this year, the energy will become predominant again, and I feel like he will be the poster boy for the resistance in some capacity. Nonetheless, we do have the Page of Cups, which tell me there might be someone who might be a copycat, if you will. And the copycat could pursue someone of a higher position rather than just that of a CEO. So, remember one thing, it feels like to me, it feels like it's going to be multiple copycats, not just one. Underneath the Knight of Cups reversed and the Devil card reversed, which is also indicating to me that there may be a transfer of power, but not so much. It feels like there's a transfer of something other than physical power. It is represented here as a Three of Pentacles, undercover, underground, something that is hidden, an agreement that is hidden underground. So there is some sort of agreement, but it's empty-handed, right? We could be happy. We have the Page of Cups, which is full. It has a fish in it. This is an empty cup being poured out, and this person coming in with a contract. So something is hidden below the scene in regard to something in terms of transition of something besides the physical power of things. So there will be the Three Pentacles here. Underneath the Lover card, though, we have the High Priestess in reverse, and the High Priestess in reverse is talking about here the inability and effectiveness of the Constitution. The Constitution, in a way, will be thwarted by the United States President, and he himself will do some things that would be considered unconstitutional. I mean, do you really think that, like, he was not going to do that? And, like, what's it called? The High Priestess card is not a psychic prediction. I mean, this is not. It's just coming in as this, and I want you to know that, oh, he was right. No, I was not right, okay? This was just, everybody knew that. This is not a shocker. This is not a surprise. We all knew that. This is not a prediction. This is literally facts. Everything in this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for life purposes only. That's why the High Priestess card is reversed. It's the Constitution, baby. It's the Constitution. Here, underneath the Page of Wands, though, is that new person, it's new potential, something being dried up and not having enough energy for it and having nothing really much to show for it except a little bit of growth. And I'm also seeing that at this point in time, towards the end of the snake year in the United States, there will be a little bit of movement towards, oh, look, we see something growing, like that's cool, you know, it's amazing, it's what we needed, we need that sense of hope. That's what it feels like. Underneath the page of wands, though, we have the chariot card, which tells me movement towards amplification. So I feel like around towards the end, there could be a possibility of issues revolving around the hospital, maybe revolving around a world leader, or it might be revolving around to a physical pandemic or an epidemic here in the United States. Now, remember, like I said, it doesn't necessarily need to be a physical manifestation of it. It could be of the mental or of the spiritual, the morale of it. But nonetheless, that's what I'm getting in the United States here. The top of the deck is slow moving. Something is just waiting to come in. And what is the thing that's waiting? We have here, it hasn't been worked on yet, which is the Eight of Pentacles reversed. It's going to be big if it does come out. It's the Four of Swords. And what exactly comes out? We have here the Eight of Cups reversed. So all these cards are reversed here, which tells me someone might have to be forced to leave, or they might try to leave, which is the Knight of Wands reversed, followed by the Hermit. Something will be revealed by this point of the Hermit. And we have about the Emperor, 45. Then we have here about his past with the Six of Cups. And then we have here in the government, so past histories in the government, something that he might have did, and the downfall of the Empress. So what is waiting? Information. I don't feel confident at the moment that anything is being done. The reason why nothing's being done, because it's in its infancy phase, it's in its baby phase. Hi. Spirit Angel, tell me about what is going on in the Chinese snake in the United States. What is going on, and how will the Chinese New Year, the year of the Chinese wood snake, how would it affect the United States? What's going on in the United States? Okay? How would it affect the United States? Okay, how would it affect the United States? The Chinese New Year, the year of the wood snake. Okay, okay, okay. We have the waxing giver's moon, which is nurturing patient refinement. Okay. And this is going into the leadership. This is going into the transition of something. Why is this significant? Well, it's significant because we have the solstice card. We talked about the solstice earlier in the world card globally. So it's interesting that it shows up again specifically for the United States, but it comes in a little bit more reversed. What is going to be the center of the United States during the Chinese snake year? Well, we're going to have lack of focus. We're going to have a lack of transition. So there's going to be maybe that physical, maybe we're going to have a lot of transition to power. Maybe it could be something that's just not working. Maybe the possible plan of Project 2025 may not work, or something like that. And here we have amplification. Something's going to fail, or something that's kind of like something's going to fail, and something gets dampened in some way. Here we have the next card here, which is Pluto, regenerated, generation, rebirth, transformation. Transfer. Right? It's interesting that Pluto comes in the United States, because Pluto is officially in the United States birth chart, which is indicated of this card. What's also interesting as well is that fiery energy, the fiery passion at the bottom of the deck here, we have radiant, enthusiastic, dynamic, fire, which is a triangle. Then we also have here as well is we have the 10th house, career, public life, reputation. And it will be in the Capricorn house, which is interesting. So it will be the 10th house of Capricorn. And it'll be in the formality of career, public life, and reputation. Let me see when Capricorn moves into the 10th house. When does Capricorn move into the 10th house? Okay, so I'm seeing here, it feels like, to me, it feels like a state that we enter Capricorn season toward the end of the month, so this is around December 2025, which is interesting. So this is the top of the deck here. The bottom of the deck is the fiery energy. So this is kind of like talking about, okay, we go through all that, and towards the end of 2025, we enter into the 10th house of career, public life, and reputation. So people will be reflecting on who Donald Trump is around this point in time. Now let's go in and jump into more part of the reading, try to get more information. Should we use this deck? Okay. I guess I didn't need to answer that because it answered it for me. What's the two cards here? We have Pentacles and Pentacles. And you have the 8 and 7. We're not taking that. This is, what do you call it? They're all put together. Spirits and angels, tell me about the United States. Tell me about the United States during this time. What is going on during the United States during the Chinese snake year? What's going on in 2025, the Chinese wood snake year, from starting January 29, 2025? What's going on in the Chinese snake year? The Wheel of Fortune, X, the Hanged Man, Swords, 4 swords. The bottom of the deck here, we have the Devil, which is like 45. This does not give me good energy. Then we have 3 of Swords on the top. Betrayal, the 3 of Swords. And you see like blood in the ocean. You see things being drifted away, things being cracked apart. Interesting. So I feel like in the United States, we are going to have some sort of faction of some type. Yeah, we have the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords. You can kind of see like this is like the darkness, and you see a little bit of the light, and you see the feathers. What's followed underneath it? We have the 9 of Swords. This is the United States going through its dark period. Like, this might be the darkest period in American history. You would think, we went through that already, but I feel like, in a way, we are undergoing our darkest period in the United States. But that's the greatest thing, too, because I know it's hard to understand and wrap your head around, but this is also a beautiful thing, because when you go through your darkest night of the soul, you become better for it. You become better. You become more growth. You have more inspiration, more information. Now, if you're scared, I talked about this many times in my Take a Challenge I received, that we're all going to live. The majority of us will live and survive this. This will be a tale that we are going to tell our grandchildren and our children about what happened, and to warn of what to come if they were to do it again and repeat our mistake. So this is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a learning experience for all of us. And I see it as a very positive way. If you see it as a negative way, then you will receive the negative side of things. You will receive the negative side of things. Try not to think of it in that fashion. Now, going back to the reading here and kind of looking at the overall energies and the frequencies, and try to bring down the light so you can kind of see more of the energies here. But the first card that we have here, we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is the Milky Way galaxy. If you guys don't know, this is the Milky Way galaxy. No, it does not have these colors, but nonetheless, it does have its imprints. This is important because it's talking about the Wheel of Fortune, right? Because we have here, we have the 7 of Swords upright, while the 5 of Swords is reversed, which means somebody's going to be fighting, but they won't be backing down. So someone is fighting around in the United States. So there might be a movement among the people. It might be a movement among the parties. But there will be a fight. There will be a resistance that will form, and there will be potentially conflict. Going into the next 2 cards here, we have is represented here as the two of Wands reversed and the Hangman. What is interesting because it's significant, because it means something is domestic. So something that is formulated domestically is going to come out. So some sort of combustion within these 2, which is the Wheel of Fortune, which means this is destined. So whatever is happening in the United States during the Chinese snake year is destined to happen. The 2 of Wands is telling me it's domestic. And this is the Hangman. The last time I got the Hangman that was very significant in this type of pattern, here, it's also indicative of what happened on January the 6th, 2021. Now, I do apologize. I keep seeing that the screen is freezing, so I'm making sure I'm watching the screen all the time, and I will be repeating things that I've said in the past so you're not missing anything. But that is essentially what I'm saying, is that there may be potentially on conflict, maybe war classes, fighting with the classes. Here we do have we have the waxing gibbous moon. And here we have nurturing patient refinement. We can definitely tell you that there is no patience. There's lack of patience. You can see that in these two cards. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that one. Then we have here nurturing and refinement, not fine tuning. You start to see that this is more of a negative time. But negative things mean faster growth, more growth. We refuse to grow as a collective here in the United States, and therefore we are about to reap the reward. Reap what we sowed, so to speak. Now we have the double card in reverse and the Knight of Cups reverse, which is a transition. So something's supposed to be transitioning, but didn't transition, which is why it's reversed. Under here, we have the Three of Pentacles, which means that this feels like to me this was a coup or some sort of constitutional coup that has occurred, and that there was some underground dealings. This is further amplified by amplification, transition, focus. It's interesting that the transition card folds in, and this is the Solace card. So this is around March. So there might be a plan that might be concocted up around the month of March where a transition could occur. It could be an amplification of it or a focus or a refocusing of some type. But this is what this card goes in. It falls right on top of that. And here it's underground dealing, which is interesting because these two cards go out this way while the Three of Pentacles is underneath it, which indicates that this is underground. Here on above the two cards, though, we have the representing both the negative, the Devil card here, and representing the Knight of Cups. Here we have the Devil card, which is the Three of Swords, which is the Betrayal card, so there potentially could be an attempt on 45's life around the point of going into around March, potentially around the early part of this year, and specifically further amplified by none other than none other than the Chinese Lunar New Year, the year of the wood snake. So it's definitely expected to be more of a chaotic month in the month of March, but also kind of April and May. I see like those are the keynotes here, the key highlights to really focus on, because there will be a drifting of some way. There will be a drifting of some pieces. And here, what is this significant? I'm also seeing that, a lot of you guys are probably asking, well, what is happening in the United States? Well, in the United States here, when you start to look at this card in a more theoretical level here, you see the redness and surrounding around this polar bear. It's telling me that, yeah, MAGA might not go anywhere. It might go with the leader, which is the polar bear. But the polar bear is all alone, and he's slowly drifting away from the United States. And these pieces is what he left behind for us. So I wonder if something was to happen, and theoretically, something was to happen to 45, then we will be left with a big mess. And it will be a complete betrayal of what has happened. A complete betrayal. This is the Ten of Swords. This is the betrayal of the country, the betrayal of the people. Also remind you, this is further transitioned by the transition card in amplification, which means that there will be powerful amplification of the dark and the things going on within the 45 presidency. This is also enabled by the fact that he was not supposed to be, but became anyway. And this is because of underground dealings or some sort of agreement that they made. This was a constitutional coup, and it led to this point in time where there will be drifting of 45 over time. He will be drifting away from the people, which feels like his support starts to break. But his most loyalist supporters will still be there through and through. So there will be supporters, there will still be a lot of loyal people, but the people who voted for him and were kind of on the fence, or they didn't realize that they were on the fence subconsciously, they will start to wake up. But those who are still very much loyal will remain loyal. But that's what I'm getting here. We have the betrayal here. If something was to happen to 45, though, which is represented here, then whatever happened for the country will enter a period of mourning, a period of betrayal. So he could have a next attempt sometime in early March, or like around late March. But it feels like, if anything, it would be between the month of March all the way to probably, say, May of 2025. Now, we move into the next card here, which is the Lover's card, which is further amplified by Pluto, which is regeneration, rebirth, transformation, which is interesting because it's all about that rebalancing, that healing. We talked about the healing factor coming right after the transition, and that there could be, a healing of some way. Pluto is going to be about a rebirth, a transformation, regeneration. This might be a new leader. This might be a time where we receive a new leader if you were. Now, if it does not mean that we do have a new leader, it might be a new approach or a new idea, something come to fruition around this point in time. So take that with a grain of salt. It doesn't necessarily mean that there will be a new leader. It might just mean that there's energy and momentum that feel like there might be a new leader, but it might just be a new approach to something. Here was followed by the Page of Wands, which is again that new leader, something being sucked out, something being dried, and seeing a little bit of movement, a little bit of growth, something coming to fruition. And this is again, it's all about that Pluto card, which is in the United States birth chart. So these two cards are very significant going forward in the year of the Chinese snake year, which is all about that regeneration, rebirth, transformation. So a lot of transformation going on around the month of March and early April, or April and May. Now we go back to this side of the card again. Oh, actually, hold on. We go back here. My apologies. We have the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is significant in this aspect. Why is the Four of Swords significant? Let me see if I can get the Rider-Waite tarot deck. Where's my Rider-Waite? Did the card just go missing? Oh, right here. So let me see if I can pull up a Four of Swords. I actually forgot what the Four of Swords look like. I don't think I'm going to get it, to be honest. I don't feel like I'm going to find it. But hey, let's see, you never know. So you have the Two of Swords. You have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Swords here. I don't think I'm going to get it. No, I don't think I'm going to get it now. No, okay. Yeah, I don't think I have it. At least I can't find it. Oh, the Four of Swords is political depth. Okay, I had it up right. It's just that I showed up on the top of the deck. The Page of Wands is significant in that hindsight because it talks about that new leader. And here we have represented on the right side is we have the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is talking about going over that lake, going over that mountain, going over that range. Right? I feel like to me that this mountain range here is symbolizing that we could fly over if we want to. There won't be anything blocking us, but the question is whether or not we dip down into the pool of water or we go over the mountain range. Do we fly high or do we go low? Right, that is an option. Now, one thing I do want to mention and go back to that I forgot is we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is this card. We have two neon colored goldfish. And you see this building being wrapped around by this energy, the swirling energy, right? We talk about the transition, the amplification, lack of focus, right? This has to do with the Capitol, something to do with the White House, something to do with leadership. It's further amplified, and it's literally right next to the other Hanged Man, which means that this is double the energy, to double the amplification. Underneath the Seven of Swords, though, we have the Five of Wands, which is really indicative of what's coming in the United States, is that there won't be people who won't be standing back, won't be standing down. Don't stand back, don't be on standby, go and fight. It's kind of like what the energy feels like. I don't know exactly what that means, but that's what I got. Underneath the Two of Wands here, which is domestic, followed by the Hanged Man, it's indicative of further amplifying the lack of patience, the lack of nurturing and refinement by the Gibbous Moon, and is further amplified by the Wheel of Fortune, which tell me that something that happened around the Hanged Man, which is a lack of consciousness, a lack of educational growth in some capacity, is going to be very important for the very potency of the United States. I don't know why let me use those words, but that's the word that they show that there is potency within the United States. The energy, emotion, spells, essentially, will be represented here at the Hanged Man. So potentially, just be careful of subliminal messaging, is what it's saying. Be careful of messages maybe potentially in the media. Under the Devil card, the Knight of Cups reversed, the Ten of Swords, and the Three of Swords, followed by the Solstice, the Solar Solstice reversed, which is amplification, transition, and lack of focus, with the Three of Pentacles. Again, it's indicative and understand that something was dark, something was happening, and major change is taking place within the Capitol or the White House, or it's already did, but it will eventually happen again in the year of the Chinese snake year. So we're going to read on that towards the end of this video. Under here, we have the Lovers card, which is further amplified by Pluto, which is regeneration, rebirth, and transformation. And with all that being said, we have the High Priestess in reverse, which means regeneration of the Constitution. Maybe something gets renewed, maybe certain things are edited out, something things are taken in, something is being put in. In some way, there is a transition of the Constitution and how it operates and works and how it functions, right? It's that regeneration. Maybe he gets rid of the Constitution and it gets reborn and it gets re-put back in. That healing factor as well, which is why we've been reversed, the High Priestess reversed. The next card here, though, we have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is that new leader, someone going into a new position of power. There could be a new initiative, a new plan, a new idea, something new. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean have to be a physical person, but it could be a new idea that takes place. And here we have the Chariot. And Chariot means going straight on in, but this also means somebody's injured. So I feel like, again, it feels like if you were to really take all the energies here, we have this goes in here, something happened to 45 or something going on with the capital. We go through this page here, we end up deciding whether or not we go over the mountain range or we decide to dip into the water or kind of fly ahead or above it or go in a different direction entirely. Then we go into this section, again, it happened again for 45, and then this is toward the end. So it feels like whatever this is, this main center of the reading here, this is going to be the one you want to focus on. Something major is going to happen in 45 and his control of the presidency regarding the transition and how it works and the underground dealing that went with that. Again, everything in this video is alleged, but it will happen towards the beginning of the year. It will happen again toward the end of the year. Maybe this possibly could be 2 attempts on his life during this year, during the year of the Chinese snake. Now remember one thing and one thing only. I believe, if I'm correct, the next Chinese Lunar New Year isn't always like the way we have it every 365 days. It kind of changes with, I don't know what they changed it to, but let me just tell you the next Chinese New Year, 2026. The next one won't be until February 17th, 2026. So there will be that transition and we'll be transitioning towards the horse. Now on top of the deck here for the United States, we have the Nine of Swords, which is all about sleepless nights, the upheaval, darkness, and periods. Then we have here again 45 coming in as the devil. And what is 45 doing? The Tower. The Tower card. You see how even though the darkness is falling, things are starting to collapse, and this is kind of like in the darkness, you start to see the light, you start to walk in, you start to see the light again. That's a positive thing. And look what's here, look what's here. It's not anything bad, it's just a little dove. That could be physical death, it could be he's removed, but in some way there will be a star, a shooting star, a wish had come true, a light had come true in some way. And here you see those little flying thing that you blow and the little seeds fly away. We talked about this earlier globally. It's significant because it shows up again, and we have the little firefly, and the firefly, in this aspect, the light in the darkness. We talked about the lightness in the darkness earlier in today's video. What comes after the Nine of Swords? We have here the Eight of Swords. Take this with a grain of salt, but I'm getting the energy that, there will be a period of darkness. You will walk alone. We will be walking alone. We will be walking alone. I feel like in some way people abandon us because of things that 45 is doing. But we will recover is what it feels like. Because like I said, it's all about us coming together as a collective, growing to become the best version of ourselves. That's really what I'm getting. And we are going to touch upon the last question, which is going to be the transition period here. See if we got anything in terms of transition. And then we'll finish the reading, and yeah, there's that. So what do you guys think of all this? I know it's a lot of information, and I know that there's so much to swallow. I really do. I understand it. I get it. What do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to be going on globally? What do you think is going to be happening during the Chinese snake year domestically? What do you think is going to be happening? But I'm really curious to see what your guys' thoughts are and where you are mentally and physically. Alright, so let's take a look here. Got these two cards as well. Okay. Alright, so let's go and take a look at the last couple cards here. Then we'll take a look at what was that thing going on in the White House in the United States. Because it looks like there's major things going on there. Specifically around the Chinese snake here, the fact that it came up twice and that it's going to happen twice. Alright, so take a look. Spirit Angel Tommy, you told me to kind of refocus and hone in on what is going on in the United States, specifically revolving around the White House, the leaders, and all that stuff during the Chinese snake year. What is going on? What are those major things going on? Because they seem to be happening twice. What is those energies revolving around? The transition here. Ten of Cups reverse, followed by the Two of Pentacles reverse. Something is definitely certain here. What is certain? We have here something coming in. What is coming in? It didn't come in yet. We have here justice. So, interesting. Then let's go and take a look and see these cards. What is going on in the United States, specifically in the White House during the Chinese Lunar New Year, January 29th, 2025. You said that there was something big going on twice. What is going on in the White House, specifically around world leaders, around 45? What is going on there? You said that was going to happen twice. The Hermit. What's the bottom of the deck here? We have the Three of Cups, a celebration of some type. And what is the top of the card? The King of Wands. This is the world. This is the conservative card. What's underneath the conservative card? Let's take a look. What's behind him? We have the Ten of Cups. Okay. I feel like with the Nine of Cups and it feels like he dies. It feels like he doesn't make it. I feel like he doesn't make it. Okay, let's take a look and see what this card says. What is going on in the White House in the United States in the Chinese snake year? What is going on in the White House and the world's leaders in the United States? What is going on? This might not be 45. There might be some death, but what is going on in the White House in 2025, starting January 2029? 2025. What's going on in the White House? You said there's something big was happening twice. What is that thing that's happening? We have the fifth house, followed here, which is fun, hobbies, creativity. We have here fire, which is radiant, enthusiastic, dynamic. It's reversed. And then what is this card? We have the 10th house, career, public life, reputation. So this is kind of going towards the end. I feel like this might occur towards the end of the cycle. What is the top of the card here? We have here waxing crescent moon, focus, conceptualization, strategy. So something is going to happen in terms of strategy here. Something is tilted. Here on the bottom though, we have Pluto. Pluto again. Pluto, it's going to come up in the United States all the time. It comes up here, it comes up here. We have here regeneration, rebirth, transformation. What is behind it? We have here fix, action, momentum, dedication. Something is not fixed, revolving around Pluto's energy, revolving around a rebirth or a transformation or regeneration. Something is not set in stone. And what is not set in stone is the focus, conceptualization, the strategy. Alright, so we're asking whether or not what is going on in the US Capitol during the Chinese snake year. Because something big is definitely happening. And how do I know this? Well, the cards are definitely telling me. It's what it feels like. The energy is there. The energy is there, you know. Here we have the Nine of Cups, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I did count right. And yes, I don't remember the card because I don't read the cards like the way other people do. I just read them based on my intuition. So a lot of you guys have asked me, Chris, how do you read cards? I read them based on my intuition. I don't even take classes on them or anything like that. I just read however I feel. That's all I do. Because I don't like to be confined to a box or a certain meaning of something. I like to be open to the broader things, right? I see things from different perspectives. That's what I like, and that's how I like to read. So, with the Eight of Cups here is significant because it talks about ignorance. You talk about not seeing what's in front of you, right? You'll see everything from a third eye perspective. You're watching this individual. We're taking a picture of this guy, and this guy is sitting down, taking a photo. But you see his success. You see the background. You see what's behind him. But he is not even looking. He's looking straight at you. He's looking at you as you take his photo. So there is some sort of like clicking. There's almost two different perspectives. People see things from a different perspective, but also other people are seeing things from a different perspective. So what is this indicative of? When we're talking about the capital, we're talking about people see things on a grander scale. So potentially the people are seeing what's going on in the capital. Well, this is the government saying, oh, you don't see anything. But then from their perspective, they think that you're not seeing what's behind them because they think you're looking at him or looking at them. You're not paying attention to what they're doing. It could be the vice versa in this aspect. It could be that these are the American people ignoring the issues and what's in front of them, what's going on, and this is from the perspective of the person taking the photo. They see what's going on. They see what they're doing, and they're happy with all those successes, those cups. But this person is ignorant in some way. The thing that we're getting here is, okay, what are you? Are you the person that is taking the photo and seeing the bigger picture, or are you going to be the person sitting down seeing the smaller picture? That's up to you. That you decide how you're going to be doing that. How you're going to be Excuse me. What's your perspective? Is what I mean. Is what I meant to say. The card before this, which is the Eight of Cups, is the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands is that energy of the capital or resilience. This card in specifically is talking about that movement of slowing movement, grazing, right? Just slow and just it's there, but it's not there. It just feels like it's very calm and soothing. You see people just walking around, trouting, this is cows moo, that type of thing. They are trotting along, right? It's just interesting because you can choose to see the bigger picture, or you can choose to focus on the cows. Zoom out. See everything in front of you. Don't just see one little thing. Don't see what you want to see. See the bigger picture. It's followed by domestic, which is, foreign. So something is definitely foreign here. So there's possibly the United States could go to war. There might be some foreign interference, maybe a foreign virus. Something is definitely foreign in this aspect. It's further aided by death. And death is that transformation or that transition from one period to the next. It's that rebirth, that ending of something and starting anew. Right? But I'm also seeing a surrender of something. Someone is surrendering something to something. Here we have here the Hermit. It's the darkness, and we're finding the light in the midst of the darkness. You see here, this is a very beautiful card for it. And you see this little lion. He's came out of the cave, and he's looking, he's howling, but he's looking at the darkness, not what's dark, but he's looking at the light. Focus where you want to focus. I feel like in some way somebody comes out of this dark period and goes into the light possibly. It feels like very reminiscent of death. It feels like a renewal of something. I want us to ask the card if this is actually someone physically dying, but I don't want to reshuffle it because I might have information I might need to tell you more about. So I might ask that at the end. But this is the Hermit card. Right? Somebody coming out of the darkness and looking towards the light. And underneath this Eight of Cups, we have the Seven of Swords reversed, right? Are you going to pay attention to see the person in front of you? So, in essence, even though we talked about the person sitting in the chair being ignorant, and the person taking the photo just say this is the American people, and they don't see what's behind them because these are all they're assuming this is what the government sees, but this is what the people see, right? This is what the people see. They see this because that's the person taking the photo, right? Now, essentially, if just say the people were taking the photo and this was the American people, they're going to see their success or things that they did, but they're not going to see what this person's doing. So in essence, I think the American people need to be sitting in the chair to see the person walking away and sealing. Can you open your eyes to it, or will you be blind to it? It's really what it's saying. Here we have something foreign. Something foreign here. What is foreign? We have something fast-moving, fast-paced, something that is abnormal, something that is not of the natural sense, something that is not the norm in the capital. And here we have the Knight of Pentacles. Fast-moving, something goes in pretty quickly, pretty rapidly. What is that movement? We have the fall of the hawk. The hawk is falling. Normally it means it's going down to its prey. But its arms are not open. It's not willing to glide. It's just falling down. It's almost like it took its last breath and it's just straight down like a tower moment. The Knight of Swords. Heading straight down. What is it heading straight down towards? The fall. The fall of stolen. It's going in a diagonal. It's going in this direction from the foreign influence. Something foreign here is the thing that takes somebody down and has to do with this. The Seven of Swords reversed. And it's going to happen on a pretty rapid pace. It's further amplified now by the Page of Swords because you have this hawk going down, and then I talk about how they don't have their wings open. Then all of a sudden, right before they hit the ground, the wings open and they fly. And here you have the thunder, the lightning, the strike, the dark cloud, the ominous, the Page of Swords. This is also interesting as well because when you start to look at this card from a different perspective, even though this is the Knight of Swords, you're getting aided by the Page of Swords, and this feels like although this person individual fell, which is the hawk, you have a big bird that takes over. So potentially it could be a transition. There could be something that could happen with the big person fall, which would be more of 45, because 45 is bigger than J.D. Vance. I bet you any money that if 45 were to sit on J.D. Vance's lap, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be breathing right now. But this is important because it's talking about, the hawk was able to eat and eat and eat, and it was able to get bigger and bigger and bigger, but it gotten so big that it's unable to stand on its own 2 feet, and it's able to crash down to the ground, while something that is lighter weight is able to take off. There could be a transition here, which is why the death card is indicated here. But it's followed by the Three of Swords, which is betrayal, heart attack. Something like that major health issue. It's further amplified by career, public life, and reputation, which is enter in the Capricorn, which is kind of like what we said. It kind of feels like it's a reminiscence of 2 things that already happened during the Chinese snake year. We're going to get the first one earlier this year. That's going to be indicative and an indicator of what you expect towards the end of the Chinese snake year, which means that whatever happened to 45 and whatever happened in the capital will happen again in terms of the same concept and theme. So definitely keep an eye out for that because it feels like it's going to be a repetition. It's going to be, again, it's kind of like what it feels like. And towards the end, we have that Hermit card, which is the Hermit. Someone coming out of the darkness, looking towards the light, and this is about fun, hobbies, and creativity, which is the 5th house of Leo, which is that lioness. Trump is indicated as a lion, like somebody who is aggressive, who is a fighter, who is stubborn, not willing to let go. And this is the Fire card, the radiant, enthusiastic, dynamic that comes to an end. And like we started, talked about the focus, conceptualization, the strategy. I don't think they have a strategy. I really don't. Whatever's going on in the capital, the lack of strategy, and this is important because it's talking about a rebirth, the transformation, and regeneration. So something gets renewed, something gets refixed, something gets re-put back in, or a renewal of something, or even like a remodeling. So that's what I'm getting. I want to actually ask the cards, what to call it. I want to ask the cards, is it the physical death? I'm not wishing harm on anybody. This is for entertainment purposes only, for life purposes only. I'm just reading the energy. This is not predictive at any factor. I'm just reading you what I'm getting energetically. I'm just telling you what I get. All right, so Spirit Angels tell me, what are the energies? Excuse me, I misspoke. Spirits and angels tell me, are the energies accurately describing a physical death? Is the energies that I'm getting accurately describing a physical death? So tell me one deck. This one? Okay. Is what I'm saying, what I'm getting, Spirit, accurately describing a physical death? We have here bad health, and that's sideways. Is what I'm actually getting indicative of an actual physical death? We have expectations, okay. So we have expectations that a king will fall, okay. We have here the courthouse in reverse here, which is interesting. It's going to be career, public life, and reputation. This could be something lightning speed in the house. And it has to do with a mature man, which 5 is a challenge. The challenge to the mature man. Whether that is a physical, but remember, 45 is kind of like a child in essence. So even though he comes in as that, he is a body of a mature male, whether you like it or not. He has a physical body of an old man. Or it's the spirits and angels tell me about whether or not this is of a physical death or of a metaphysical or whatever death it is. We have here thief in reverse. We have something stolen in reverse. Okay. What came out as well? We have lovers. Or rejoining or something, and what's being rejoined. We have a distant horizon. So we have that same bird flying. So I guess that bird is flying in some way towards the lovers and the thief. And what's the top of the deck? We have the child, 18. And the bottom of the deck, we have official person. So I feel like in essence, yeah, because let's see, what's the bottom of the deck here? We have the official person has a message of imprisonment, a message of concern, unexpected income reverse, the community reverse. What's the top of the deck? We have the marriage reverse, which is the lovers card here, which is reverse, unhappiness, with a major change that's going to happen. And we have here within an occupation, and it's revolving around a main male, and here's the privileged lady, it's a privileged man. And who is this privileged man? He's gonna have despair and the age of concern. So I feel like in essence, it's not necessarily saying that there is going to be a physical death, but it's not indicating the plausibility is impossible either. And that's why the death card comes in, the health card, comes in as a challenge to the 4 of Wands, which is a challenge to the White House. So we asked him whether or not this is going to be a physical manifestation of something. The bad health, you guys also noticed I didn't place this here. It came in just like this, with under the top the 4 of Wands, which is indicative of the U.S. Capitol on my Rider-Waite tarot card. So what the bad health indicating? It's indicating that possibly a challenge to the Capitol, to the world's leader, will be bad health. So that would be the challenge. Alright guys, I'm going to end up the reading today. I feel like we covered a lot of things in this video. I'm going to have to end it. But I thank you for your love, support, and appreciation. I love you guys. And I will see you all guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And let me know in the comment section below what you think of today's video. I'm really curious. I know that a lot of you guys probably don't watch this type of videos, but I highly recommend you do. Until then, I love you and peace out.